We got to keep going with the music. And away we go. All right, so today we are talking about this guy right here. Why are your free trainings and free events, or even low events, like challenges, workshops, even your Facebook Lives like this one here, why aren't they leading to sales? Why are they not giving you the results that you're looking for, right? Well, the sad but true story here is that what you're doing on those events can actually be stopping people from taking action. Woo! Stopping them from buying. The actual thing that you're doing, it's not the event itself, it's what you're talking about on the event. So let's talk about this from the very beginning. What events are you currently doing now? So whether you're on with me live or if you're watching on the replay, what kinds of events and trainings are you doing today? Are you doing Facebook Lives? Are you doing challenges? Are you doing workshops or masterclasses or webinars? What are you doing today? Drop those in the comments so that we can see what you're doing and what everybody else is using. Which of those things are you doing? Let me take a drink here. It's good to see everybody. Facebook Lives, challenges, workshops, webinars. What are you doing? And more importantly, what are you doing on those? What types of content are you actually sharing inside of those events? Okay, Monique says webinars. Okay, what kind of webinar? What are you doing inside that webinar? What do I get from that webinar? This is a cool opportunity for you to kind of pitch what you got going on. So take full advantage of it. Okay. Okay, Trish says Facebook Lives weekly and challenges like 1 or 2 day challenges. Okay. Again, Trish, I know the answer to this, but like what kinds of things are happening on those challenges or in those Facebook Lives? How would you categorize what you're putting out inside those events? Okay, Angela says, I'm looking at the comments over here. I should put it this way so it's not quite so jarring. Okay, Angela says, I'm teaching an online live 12-week workshop in forensic remote viewing and criminal casework tracking missing persons. Whoa, how cool is that? Okay, so what I'm wanting you to recognize is that what you're actually covering could actually be repelling buyers. Ouchie mama, what? If you've ever had somebody say or comment in a live and say, this was so great, oh my gosh, thank you so much, but yet no action was taken, they didn't book a call with you, they didn't buy a program or your offer or anything, this could be what's actually happening, is that you're repelling buyers and you're attracting freebie seekers. Now, here's the key thing here. Yes, you need to give value in your events, and your challenges, and your workshops, and all of that. But value alone is not the whole truth. It is not the whole story. Okay, so for those of you, I think everybody that I've seen that's on, you all know who I am, but just in case, my name is Jamie Hain. I am a business growth coach, and I will share a little me being vulnerable here for a second. In the last year, I did a workshop. I had 70 people register. 70 people registered for that workshop. Only 20 showed up. That's a little low. Normally I get about 50%. That's about the average. So 20 out of 70, that's not so great. And of those 20 people, they all said, this is so great. Oh my gosh, I love this so much. You gave me so much. This was awesome. I got all that wonderful praise. And I got zero of anything else. Nobody booked a call and nobody bought anything. Has that happened to you? You put all this time, energy, effort into creating this big event and you get crickets. And I had to take a real hard look at what the heck am I doing wrong? What went wrong? Where do I need to adjust this? How do I fix this? Ugh, right? And what I realized inside of that event is that I was teaching it like it was a course. I was doing a little mini course filled with all sorts of value and all sorts of ahas and all sorts of step-by-step models. And that's where I went wrong. Because what happened is all of those people were stuck in learning mode, applying mode, and I wasn't activating them into buyers. So your workshops and challenges, yes, they have to be valuable, but you have to look at them more like a strategic part of your selling process. And you got to balance the two pieces. I know, it's a lot to wrap your head around, okay? Especially those of you it's okay to admit it in here, it's just us. How many of you love to teach? You love to teach. You want to help. That's why you started your business, is you want to educate and you want to help people and you want to, whatever it is that you're wanting to do, right? I know I'm one of those people. So this was a big lesson for me. And I had to dig in and be like, okay, we can't go through that again. Something has to shift. If I am wanting to sell more, I've got to create more demand for my offer. Again, it's a balancing act. I've got to create demand for my offer, but I have to still give value and wins. Because if I'm just pitching, who's going to show up? Got to be both in here. So what I want to do today is talk a little bit about 3 different shifts that you can start to make now, to start to look at your events and say, am I doing these? Am I not doing these? What do I got to start to shift in my own workshop, Facebook Live events? Okay. So number 1, what you're teaching matters. How you message around what you're teaching matters. So what you've got to stop doing, you got to stop teaching them how to do it. And instead, you want to help them realize why they're stuck and what's missing. Let me give you an example, and then we'll come back to this, okay? So the example is, I'm going to do a workshop, event, whatever it is, how to create high converting content. Okay, you see this keyword in here is how. And what you're wanting to shift that to is, why isn't your content leading to clients? Do you see the subtlety in that? Now, granted, some of this is messaging, but it also helps you focus differently on what you're doing to say, I'm not teaching how, I'm teaching the what and the why. And you have to start to make sure that the what and the why that you are teaching, still teaching, is not surface level, but that they actually still get value from, because you help them see something they're not seeing in themselves. You're starting to help them shift a belief or recognize something that they didn't know. And that, what happens in that moment is they lean in and they're like, what? What are you talking about? Like I did today, right? I told you in the beginning, what you're doing in your events, you're repelling buyers. What? Now I want to know more. Okay, number 2. You need to start creating the gap instead of filling the gap. Create it, not fill it. So the message here is, you are giving too much. You probably feel that. When I say those words, if you were to really stop and think about it, yep, I'm probably giving too much away. It feels like I'm giving so much away. And what happens is we feel like, I guess I have to give more. I have to do more. I have to give more. I have to have a bigger win. What you have to do is stop giving so much value. And instead, what you have to shift to is showing them what's possible. And when you start to show them what's possible, you actually hint that there's more underneath this, that this is like the iceberg, right? That you're only seeing this much of the iceberg and the whole rest of it's down here. And we're going to get to all of that when you take some sort of action. That's how you start to create a gap. Let's look at an example, shall we? Okay. So what you're going to stop doing is, I'm going to tell you step by step how to do something. Do you see how if I'm over here watching, right? And I'm like, oh, step by step. Okay, step 1, step 2, and I'm writing this down. I am locked in on learning. I'm learning this. I'm trying to get it all down and I'm trying to take action and figure out how am I going to apply this. And what I'm wanting you to start to shift to instead is, I'm going to give you some key mistakes that people are making. I'm going to tell you what some of the missing pieces are. Not the step by step. I wrote this down. I saw this the other day and I thought it was so good. Instead of teaching them what to do, teach them why they're stuck. Help them see why they're stuck. See how that's different? Such good stuff. Okay. Number 3, you got to activate them as a buyer. You got to get them out of that teaching mode, learning mode, applying mode, and you got to get them into, oh my gosh, I need this thing. I need to do whatever it is that she's about to tell me what to do. So what you got to stop doing is you got to stop assuming, this was really hard for me. You got to stop assuming that if they love your content, they'll eventually buy. They'll eventually buy. Sometime they'll buy in the future because they love it. We mistake that love of our content for validation that it's working. But if it's not leading to sales, what are you doing? That's what I had to challenge myself with. What am I doing here? So what you want to do instead is you want to help them see why waiting is actually costing them. This is where you start to get into what is the return on this investment. Now, this is if you're specifically promoting something that costs money. But even if you're giving something away for free, like a free workshop, and you're trying to promote a free workshop, you got to get them to be like, I got to move whatever is in my way, and I got to show up for this event because I need the answer that she's going to give me on that thing. And in your workshops, because that's where you are pitching something, you've got to activate them into taking that step. So you got to help them get a win that they can apply very fast right now so that they're not distracted trying to apply that thing. And they're like, I can't do this right now. I'm still trying to apply what you just taught me. So I'll do it later. Later's you're in trouble if they're saying later. Okay. So here's this one you're going to, don't throw anything at me. Okay. This one is a little bit harsh. So if you find yourself saying, if you found this program valuable, you should come do my program. Okay. I've done it. You've probably heard me tell you to do it. But that doesn't activate them. That makes them feel like it'll always be here. I can always do this. It's no big deal. Yeah, I found it valuable. In fact, it was so valuable, I'm still applying it. So what you got to do instead is something more like, okay, you can keep trying to figure this out yourself, and I'm hoping that today's workshop helped you give you some steps, or you can come and follow my proven path to get the results that you want in the next 90 days. See the difference? This is what I mean when I say you've got to start activating those buyers. Okay, I want to go to comments. And what I really want to know of these 3 different shifts, which ones are the ones that you're like, oh, yeah, yep, I got to make that shift. Yep, nope, I got to make that shift as well. Nope, I'm not doing that one either. That one needs a little bit of work. Okay, let me look at your comments while you are thinking. So your question is, this is not the right question, is this? This is not the right question. Here, let's do this. We're going to fix this right on the fly. Can I fix this right on the fly? I can. Which shift do you need to make? There we go. Okay, I'm going to check comments while you're thinking about this. Okay. Yep, it has happened. Yep, this is happening all the time. I love the validation there. I love to teach, and this is exactly what I've been doing. Yep. Oh, Angela. Angela says she had 179 people interested, 80 people saying they were coming. Nobody came. Ooh, hurts, doesn't it? It hurts, right? Okay, so right there in that moment, that's a perfect example of there wasn't enough urgency in that event. They were interested. Oh, yeah, I might like that. But it wasn't the kind of urgent, oh my gosh, I can't miss this event. If I'm missing this event, I'm missing out. Like the secret to my problem is happening at this event. If I feel that, I'm not going to miss it. I'm going to put it in my calendar 17 times and circle it and highlight it, right? I'm going to put it in my calendar. I'm going to do all of these things in order to make sure that happens. See the difference? Okay. Okay, Lori says, one of my coaches called them open loops. Yep, that's what you're doing. Yeah, that's what you're doing. Back to that second one, right? You're creating gaps or loops that make them go, well, I don't know how to do this. I need to know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. You're helping them understand that something is missing and that you have the answer. And that answer happens in your program or at this event or whatever you're trying to promote. Okay, Talana says, I know many of us don't know how to put boundaries in place, and it shows in the freebies we're giving away. I don't even know that it's so much about boundaries, Talana. I think it's that you've not learned how to do this differently. I know that's where I was. Like, I thought I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. I'm giving value. I'm teaching. I'm showing off. I'm giving and I don't mean showing off in a bad way. I'm showing off my expertise. I'm showing that I can help you in hopes that then you want more help. And that can work. It's just very slow going because people are still trying to apply what they've learned. And if you do lots of these free events, why do they have to buy? They'll just keep showing up to the live events and eventually they'll get it all, right? That's what they think because you're not activating them as a buyer. See the difference? Okay. Okay. Let's say that's all the questions we got. Okay. So which of these shifts do you have to make? Let's go back through them. Number one, you got to look at what you're teaching. It's more realizing where the gaps are, where they might be stuck, and it's less about how to do something. That's number one. Who needs to do number one? Put it in the comments. Just put one in the comments, okay? Number two is that you're not doing enough of that creating the gap. You're filling it. You're creating a gap and then you tell them how to do it. You've created a gap and you tell them how to do it. You're filling the gap instead of letting that gap just linger and make them go, but I need to know this. Well, then that's when you need to do my program, or that's when you need to come to my workshop or whatever it is you're promoting. That's number two. Who needs to work on number two? And number three, you got to activate those buyers. It's not just whenever it fits for you, come and do this. Why do they need to sign up now? Why do they need to put this on their calendar and not miss it? Now, I'll be honest. For me, I was doing all three. I needed to shift all three of them. Lori says number one and number two, she's filling the gap too much. Yep, it happens, right? It happens. Because that's what we think we're supposed to do. We don't know any different. We haven't learned a different way. Okay? Monique says number three is her gap. Not activating buyers. Not creating urgency around whatever it is that you're promoting or pitching. That doesn't have to come across as salesy and slimy, right? We're not talking about all of you need to be used car salesmen and be all icky. No. It's about doing it in a way that activates them as a buyer and makes them be like, I have to be in this program. How do I get to be in this program? Okay? All right. So now the question becomes, where is this? Do you want to turn the posts and the events and the things that you're doing today into clients? Of course you do. Who would say no to this? Of course you want this. right? You're not out here doing all of this social media, doing all of this work, all of these activities to be like, I don't want any clients. I did a post the other day that said, who wants more clients? And of course, everybody said me. But several of you were like, well, duh, of course. Of course I want more clients. We all want more clients. But the question then becomes, what are you doing to get those clients? What are the activities? What is your process for turning your social media content and your events into client generators? That's the key. So if you're sitting there on the other side of this video and you're over there going, yeah, I need this, then I want to invite you to my workshop on Monday. It's called From Crickets to Clients. And we're not just talking about crickets and that you're not getting engagement on your posts. That may be happening. And if that is happening, you're going to learn how to fix that too. But more than that, it's the crickets in terms of I'm doing all the things and I'm not getting the clients. So what we're going to look at is we're going to figure out, where are the leaks? Where are the crickets getting in? What's happening? And the hidden reason that we didn't even talk about today, the hidden reason why it's happening. Then we're going to go into my 3-step framework, from crickets to clients. It's a framework. It's a 3-step process that is going to enable you to turn all of your events, all of your content into the client generators that we talked about before. Right? So just to be clear, we're talking about both here. We're going to talk about content and we're going to talk about events. Both are needed in order to turn everything that you're doing into client generators. Okay? So details on the workshop. It's Monday, this coming Monday, 11 o'clock Mountain Time. If you're not yet registered, just type the word crickets in the comments and I'll get you the link. Or feel free to message me if you don't want to wait for the comments, or if you're one of those people where you lose it because it's in the comments and who knows how many notifications you get, I'll message it out to you. If you're on my email list, I have sent several emails and there will be more before Monday hits. I hope that you'll come join me. It's one of these workshops that I'm really proud of it. It's really good in terms of helping you identify where those gaps are and what are the steps you need to do to start plugging those leaks. Okay, let me look at comments and then we're going to wrap up. Okay. Lori says, the last time I sold, it was from number 3, so I do know how to do it. Awesome. Okay, that's an important question, right? Lori brings up. The last thing that you sold, how did you sell it? If you know how you sold it, then it's now a repeatable, duplicatable process. And that's what you've got to incorporate into your world. You've got to have a process. If your way of getting clients is I'm just posting and hoping, like I just post stuff and then I hope people buy, you don't have a process, and we got to figure that out for you. Okay? Okay. A couple people are typing crickets. I love it. I will send you the links. All right. Here's the most important part here. Let me do this. I want you to stop spinning your wheels. I know how frustrating it is because I was there not very long ago where I was just doing so much. I had so many activities. I was going live and I was doing workshops and I was doing challenges and I had all this stuff going on and it wasn't going anywhere. And I felt like I was just on this hamster wheel of content. I'm just spitting out content and I'm like, oh, please, I hope this sticks. I hope this works. And I had to learn a completely new model that, oh my gosh, you guys, it works so well. And it makes so much sense. But the key to this is that you've got to stop giving away so much. And this was super hard for me. Oh my gosh, it was so hard for me. And it was hard for me, because the feedback I was getting from people was that they loved my content. They loved my lives. They loved my workshops. They loved my posts. Everything was positive. But that's not currency. I can't pay my bills with, I love you, I love your stuff, your content's so great. Okay? I'm not saying your events are bad. Your events are probably great. If you've been following me, if you've done some of my programs and you've learned how to do Facebook Lives and challenges, they're probably really good. But if they're not converting, you got to change something up. Something's got to be different. We got to make them work as a client generator. And this workshop on Monday, it's the first step. I hope to see you there. If you got any questions, you want to talk more about it, you message me, okay? Thanks for being here today, and I'll see you all next week on Monday, because you're going to register for the event, right? All right, guys. See ya. Bye.